Alright, this is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, but before we get into today's episode, I have a special announcement for you guys. Kuvings Black Friday sale is starting today for a limited time only. I don't want you guys to miss out because this is the lowest price you guys are going to get all year on any Kuvings product you guys want, including their all new, just released Auto10 Plus. This machine has amazed me with its 4-liter hopper that's actually convertible because you can take off the top section and have a 2.7, so it's still a little bit shorter than the original Auto10. It also has a stainless steel processing blade that's stronger than the plastic processing blade on the Auto10. Of course, the bestseller is the Auto10 that has been out for about a year now, but nonetheless, if you guys use the coupon code BF30 at KuvingsUSA.com, you guys are going to save $222, which is 30% off the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, or $210 off the Kuvings Auto10. That being said, your best option, in my opinion, for using the BF30 coupon code that is going to be only working for less than a week now is the Kuvings CB1000. This is my favorite vacuum blender in the entire world. It sucks out more oxygen than any other blender due to the unique design of the carafe, because it's asymmetrical and has a nice sharp wingtip propeller blade. It grinds and cuts things to a finer consistency faster and does it under vacuum so you don't oxidize your food like you do with a traditional blender. And right now, with the BF30 coupon code, you guys can save $600. That's almost a third off this amazing blender. So you could have literally a professional, commercial quality blender sitting in your house, blending up all your recipes. And the cool thing about the CB1000 is if you press a button, the blender will automatically open up. It'll also automatically close, suck a vacuum on the carafe, and start blending for you all without you. It literally automates almost the entire blending procedure except for loading your carafe with your items to be blended and cleaning it. Vacuum blending has never been so easy, fast, or efficient as the CB1000, and now is the time to buy it. So this promotion only runs until November 29th, and I don't want you guys to miss out, so make sure you guys use the coupon code DJ30 at Kuvings USA. And guys, if you could help me out and make sure you guys use the coupon code DJ30, this ensures you get 30% off, but also Kuvings will share with me a small commission. If you use any other coupon code, Kuvings will not share a commission with me, and that's how I'm able to make these educational videos for you guys and tell you guys the truth about all the different juicers and appliances on the market. So I want to thank you guys so much who will use my coupon code. Once again, links down below to the coupon code to buy at Kuvings at the 30% off. Also links down below to my videos where I declare the CB1000 my favorite vacuum blender and why it's my favorite vacuum blender, as well as my all new unboxing review of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus so you could learn all about it, as well as my original video with the Kuvings Auto10. So let's get into today's video. Alright, so John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I'm going to use the all-new Kuvings Auto10 Plus, which is quickly becoming my favorite juicer because it has a 4-liter hopper, which means it allows me to have more time to multitask because I can literally load up this hopper with tons of produce, 4 liters, a matter of fact, and literally walk away and let the juicer do all the work without me. So today I thought I'd bring you guys along on my journey. This is the green juice that I like to drink. Every week it changes, but generally my green juices are not just green in color. I saw a recent video that said, make this green juice for detoxification or something, and it had 1 pineapple, 1 bunch of cilantro, and maybe some ginger in there. To me, that is a fruit juice. Link down below to my video on why I don't want you guys juicing fruits as the dominant thing you are juicing. I personally don't think that's definitely the healthiest to do. Meanwhile, studies show, and my research proves to me, that the leaves are the most nutritious food that we could be juicing to get into us. I'm literally juicing 12 organic romaine hearts I bought from Costco, as well as about over a dozen leaves of dinosaur kale picked fresh from my garden. I also grow the red boar kale, which is actually the red kale, over a dozen leaves from my garden, as well as over a dozen leaves of the collard greens or the tree collards that I also love growing in my garden. In addition, these are all the leaves, and we're going to add in 1 lemon. This will help preserve the juice so that I can store it longer when stored under vacuum. And I want to share with you guys my tips on how to juice all this in the Kuvings Auto10, and how the Kuvings Auto10 with a 4-liter hopper, the largest hopper in the entire world at this point, makes it easier to juice your greens as well as other foods. I guess, so if you guys haven't seen my original unboxing of the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, link down below to that video. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on my green juice. So the first thing I do is I take the lemon, and we're just going to go ahead and cut it in half. I cut it in half lengthwise. I then cut it into quarters lengthwise. Once I got to cut it into quarters lengthwise, then I'll cut each half into a half. So now I'll basically have 8 pieces of lemon. And it's very important, guys, when you're juicing lemon, is you want to juice lemon equidistantly between your greens. That's very important. Don't just put all the lemon in at once. That's great. The produce you're juicing at that time when you're juicing lemon will get the good shot of the citric acid, but I want the citric acid to be coated on the parts of the juicer as all the lettuce is getting juice. So we're going to put in, like, just 1 piece of the lemon right down in the shoot to go in. Next up, we're just going to go ahead and take our romaine. Now, we could put whole romaine in there. I don't recommend that because you won't be able to optimally fill it and fit the most romaine in there. Also, because you're not cutting it, you're allowing the stainless steel processing blade to do all the cutting for you, which it could do, but when that happens, it's not the most efficient at doing that, so it will take longer to juice. That being said, I don't mind just running my knife through it and cutting it into like 1-inch pieces real quick. And I also always take the pieces from the top that are more leafy and drop those in first, right? And then followed by the pieces more near the stem, which is actually more crisp, last, right? I'll then go ahead and take like a whole bunch of my homegrown kale. And once again, I will then chop this kale in half once. I will then go ahead and put it up against each other again and chop it in half again. And then again and again, so like into quarters. And then I will go ahead and drop in all this kale into the juicer. All right, next up, we're gonna go ahead and take another head of romaine, and once again, just chop this up in about 1-inch pieces all the way down, simply and easily. And once again, we're gonna go ahead and load up the leaves end in first. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and hit out another head of romaine into the Kuvings Auto10. All right, so now so far we have 3 heads of lettuce going into the Auto10 hopper. All right, I think we'll be able to fit 1 more head of lettuce. So this is gonna be 4 heads of lettuce in the Auto10 hopper, along with my kale. All right, next up, we're just gonna go ahead and shut the lid and turn the Auto10 on and let it get juicing without me. This is basically 1 piece of lemon with a ton of greens, right? So we're gonna see if the Auto10 can juice greens without any problem. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna go ahead and prepare and pre-cut some of the more romaine to go into the Auto10 once it's done juicing the hopper full. But as you guys can see, it's juicing without incident. We're just gonna go ahead and get up, and I'm gonna do some other things, and that is really the beauty of the Auto10 Plus, because it has the largest hopper in the world that is currently available on any home juicer. You can literally load it up and walk away for a minimum of 3 minutes if you're juicing something like watermelons, maybe even 5 minutes or more. This is normally work you would have to do, because normally you'd have to push each produce item in to the juicer with old school juicers, and that's why I really enjoy the 4-liter hopper on the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. Look at this pulp coming out, guys. We're gonna go ahead and take some of this for you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze this on the camera. I can squeeze a few drips of juice out. I'm not gonna say this is bone dry, but I'm gonna say this is very impressive for a juicer to get the pulp this dry without me having to do any work. So we're gonna go ahead and speed this part of the video up for you guys and let the juicer run without me. Alright, so as you guys can see, the Kuvings Auto10 emptied that hopper without any issue. Did a pretty good job at emptying everything. There's a little bit of residue on the sides, and then some of the leaves that were not cut super small like the kale are literally impaled on the stainless steel blade and spinning around inside. And it looks like we have approximately almost 3 cups of juice we made with the Kuvings Auto10, literally loading up that hopper just once. Next up, let's go ahead and load it up a second time, and I expect we'll make another about 500 milliliters and get us up to easily 1,000 or 1 liter or 1 quart of green juice. Once again, we're dropping in that lemon first, and now we're going to go ahead and drop in all the leaf part of the romaine first. And then we get down and start dropping in more of the stem end that's a little bit more firm, has a bit more weight to it, that's going to help drop in all the softer stuff into the machine. All right, I think I still have some more room, so we're going to go ahead and take our red boar kale, and we're just going to go ahead and once again chop it up, cut it in half once. And once again, I'm just going to go ahead and chop it up into like 1-inch pieces, making sure I cut up the stem. I do encourage you guys to juice the stem of your greens. They're really rich in minerals. And we're just going to go ahead and drop all this red boar kale in the machine. And it looks like we still even have more room to load up more greens in. So we're going to grab another head of lettuce and chop this up. And we're going to go ahead and add another lemon at the top of this set. And we're going to add 1 more head of romaine to the top of the Auto10. And once again, I love that 4-liter hopper. This really gets me liking the Auto10 Plus more than the NEMA J2 at this point because the hopper is so large. Let's keep on juicing my green juice. Alright, so you guys can see the Auto10 Plus has now made over 5 cups of straight green juice by loading up the hopper a second time. So I'm going to estimate, you know, about 2 1/4 cups, 2 1/4 cups. So that's like 16, 18 ounces for 1 hopper fill when doing greens. Now I've proven in my original unboxing video, if you load up the hopper full of watermelon, you got literally 2 quarts or 2 liters of juice. Now, being fully transparent with you guys, I'm going to show you guys, look at this. We got the juice, but the other thing is we have lots of foam generated, right? That is a challenge when juicing straight leafy greens. If I added, you know, if I put in the greens with some carrots mixed up in there, some apple or even some cucumber, that'll help to minimize the foam created in your juice, right? One of the things with vertical juicers is that they do add more foam to your juice than, say, a horizontal single auger juicer, that you got to sit there and push each produce item in. If the foam bothers you a lot, then you want to buy something like the Santa 727 and you run it at low 40 RPM, that's going to barely put any foam into your green juice. That being said, my solution for the foam is I use a sieve, so I catch most of it. Then I tap the sieve down to get all the juice out. You guys can see there's a lot of juice because there's like fine particles that are clogging up the screen or the sieve. So we tap this down. All the air bubbles in time will eventually pop and then turn back into juice. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and sieve this out to the best of my ability. And then what I'll do is I'll take the sieved juice there and the pulp in the sieve, and then I'll just tap it into the collection cup to kind of clean this out. And I'll do that usually halfway between the juicing process when I'm halfway done. Alright, so we got that sieve pretty clean. We can go ahead and continue juicing. That being said, my couch cup is getting pretty full, so I think I'm going to go ahead and decant this into some mason jars. Alright, so let's check out the green juice we have made currently so far. We got 2 mason jars here, and we're just going to go ahead and pour our green juice into our jars. This is quite heavy. Look at this nice green juice, guys. Really nice consistency. Once again, this is mostly all leaves, except for a little bit of lemon. Wow, these guys are almost all full already. All right, so let's go ahead and continue juicing with the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. Once again, we're just gonna go ahead and simply chop up our lettuce. We're gonna drop in a piece of lemon, and we're gonna drop in our lettuce. We're gonna go ahead and take all the collard greens, and we're gonna chop them up. Once again, chop it in half. Line them up all against each other again, and then I just chop it into usually about 1-inch pieces. I find that usually works pretty much the best. I'm gonna go ahead and dump a lot of these collard greens in there. Let's go ahead and dump another romaine in there. All right, I think we could fit one more head of romaine in the Auto10. All right, once again, guys, this hopper rules. I love it. Other companies need to follow suit and make larger hoppers so you can load more in at once, which literally makes your job juicing a lot easier. Let's go ahead and open this spout cap and turn the machine on. And once again, we're gonna just go ahead and drop a lemon right on the top there so the lemon is getting evenly distributed when we're making our juice. I guess we're gonna go ahead and speed this part of the video up for you guys to save you guys some time while the Auto10 works all on its own. Kuvings Auto10 has been juicing amazing without me, and now it's emptied enough so that we can put this last head of romaine into the hopper. And really, guys, trust me, I've been juicing for 29 years now, and all during my juicing career I have to sit there and push each, piece of lettuce or few leaves at once into the machine. I love how this just makes it easier, right? And I think the main cons for me is the extra foam, but I'll show you guys how I deal with the foam so that it does not affect the quality of your juice when you're storing it. But I really love how automatic it is without me having to do the work. And my personal thoughts are, if having a juicer, even if it makes it a little bit more foam and the pulp isn't super dry like a horizontal auger juicer is, but it gets you to drink juice more because it's easy, then I think it's definitely a good thing. And that's literally why I use hopper style juicers like the Auto10 Plus. Let's go ahead and open this up and drop in the last bits of romaine as well as our last lemon. And let's get juicing. Alright, as you guys can see, the Auto10 Plus has pretty much finished juicing all our greens. There is a little bit of residue around the bottom of the hopper there that we could push down in, but I'm not even going to worry about that for my green juice, because what I'm going to do next is we're going to show you guys how to maximize your extraction when using the Auto10. I'm not going to tell you guys, like some influencers will, that this pulp is bone dry or sawdust dry like Kuvings may tell you. I mean, I would say if I use the pure juicer, which is a $2,500 juicer, that would get the pulp bone dry. This pulp is very dry and there's not a lot left in it. That being said, I want to extract every little bit of goodness out of my pulp that I'll be sure to share with you guys in just a little bit. So anyways, it looks like the pulp has stopped flowing out and the juice is basically dribbling out. We're going to go ahead and shut the spout cap, and we're going to go ahead and sieve out the rest of our juice. All right, once we got the little bit left over of foam and the pulp, once again, I just put that in the catch cup here because I'll be using it in just a little bit, actually. Got another third jar. So let's go ahead and pour out our juice so we have a even mixture amongst all three of them. All right, so you guys can see we basically made 3 mason jars full. They're basically filled up to approximately, looks like 24 ounces in each one. Since I didn't fill them to the brim, there is a fair bit of foam on the top. That being said, I did put the lemon in, which will help with the oxidation. That being said, the bigger problem with oxidation, especially when you're juicing in bulk and making more than enough juice to drink in one sitting, like I'm going to drink 1 now, but 2 are going to go into my fridge for later. We really want to pull out the dissolved oxygen in the bubbles we're seeing, but also the dissolved oxygen out of the juice that you actually can't see. So I have these special lids linked down below my Amazon shop, so you guys could buy these vacuum lids. And then I also have a vacuum pump. You could also get it below in my Amazon shop. That being said, the best vacuum pump that I found is by Pure Juicer Company. Link down below to the Pure Juicer vacuum pump. And we're basically just going to put the pump on top and pump. And if you guys can see now, the air bubbles are expanding and getting bigger. They're getting close to the top, and we are almost started pulling some juice out. But if you look closely at that juice, you can see air bubbles literally rising to the top, coming out of the juice, going into that head space. So what I'll do is I'll shake this down a little bit, try to get it to go down and settle, and then I'll do the next one. You guys can see the air bubbles coming up once again. We want to not pump too much so that too much juice comes out the top valve there. And once we get it pretty up to the top, we're going to once again shake it down and try to get the air bubbles to come up and to get this to go back down. And then we're going to go ahead and do it again. So this is like a multiple step process where you got to keep pumping it. At this point, the Pure vacuum pump is removing up to 80% of the oxygen inside the headspace as well as in the juice. The main point to remember is that when you use a powerful pump like the Pure pump, right, you're going to remove up to 80% of the oxygen. Some cheap little small pumps that come with some of these lids maybe only remove 40% or 50% of the oxygen, right? I want you guys to have maximum oxygen removal so your juice will store the longest and preserve the most nutrients for as long as possible. A matter of fact, when I store my juices in this way, I can store them for up to a week and I taste very little taste change. Of course, the first, second, and third day, very little taste change. As you go on, taste changes a little bit more, but to me, they're perfectly drinkable and safe to drink even after 7 days. Of course, your results may vary, and I'll post a link down below to my video with all my tips on how to store your juices for up to 7 days. All right, so you guys just learned how the Kuvings Auto10 can easily and simply turn a pile of greens in about 3 quarts of green juice that you can store for up to a week. That being said, I want to show you guys the next step that I do because I'm just showing you guys how I make my green juice, and I would encourage you guys to make your green juice too. As efficient as the Auto10 Plus is, we have all this pulp, but, you know, in my opinion, there's still some nutrients left in the pulp. So my goal now is to extract every little bit of those nutrients out of that pulp so that I can drink and enjoy them and get the health benefits from them. So to do that, you know, some people could just, oh, you could just take this pulp and dump it in the machine and turn the machine on, right? So with some pulps, that may work because the pulp is not sticky and won't stick to the side, and then it'll actually, and then it won't go in. Some pulps will just kind of drop in and you could rejuice easily. Many pulps, unfortunately, will not do this at all. That's why I like to use what's called jicama. This is a root vegetable you could buy. I get mine at my local Hispanic market. I think I bought this for like 33 cents a pound on sale. Normally it's around $1 a pound. And in some places you can even find it organic, but then it's gonna run you about $2.50 a pound or so. And you gotta peel the jicama. So I basically, as the machine was running, that's why I love the Auto10, I loaded up. I could be doing other things like preparing for my next task that I'm doing. So I peeled all the jicama, and now we have the peeled jicama here, and then I'm gonna cut this up into cubes. So what I do is I basically will cut it in half once, and then I'll go ahead and cut it into fat slices right down the middle. So now I have these big fat slices. I'm gonna go ahead and then take half it, put it on its side, and then I'll cut this side once again into slices once again. All right, cut this side in half, and we put it on the cutting board. I just go around and then I slice it into long strips going one direction. So now we have like oversized French fries. And then I turn it and I cut it this direction, and now I have cubes. All right, so you guys can see we basically ended up with little cubes. This is very important. Next thing I do is I'll take a handful of these cubes and drop it in the Auto10, because basically what I want to do now is I want to flush out all the greens that are still inside the Auto10 and get the juice out. And I want to wait until I basically see straight jicama pulp coming out of the Auto10. This is my next step. All right, so it looks like we got pretty much the straight jicama pulp coming out of the Auto10. It's mostly all white. We're gonna go ahead and then now turn off the Auto10, we're going to go ahead and open up the lid, and we're going to go ahead and take our pulp from juicing the greens, and we're going to drop a little bit in there, right? Once we got one layer of the pulp in there, right now we're going to take a big handful of the jicama cubes and drop them in, right? The goal is to mix the cubes with the pulp about like a 1-to-1 ratio, right? This will ensure, and it's good if you like break up this pulp, this will ensure that the pulp will actually go back through the juicer, because what happens is the jicama cubes will help keep the pulp in the hopper agitated so it actually could feed in to the juicer. All right, let's go ahead and drop the rest of the pulp back in to the Auto10 Plus. And then we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our jicama cubes in the Auto10. We're going to shut the lid, and now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the machine on. What's going to happen is the pulp that we previously generated from juicing our leaves is going to get rejuiced a second time along with the jicama. That's going to then, the jicama is going to juice, the juice is going to come out of the jicama and then extract more of the juice out of the green. So we're going to have like a light green juice that's basically mostly jicama with the green juice. So this is the way I like to really get the most out of my greens and make an extra green juice to drink that's more of a light green with the jicama that is rich in the inulin that can help feed our microbiome. Also, it is a lower sugar root vegetable because it has indigestible fibers such as the inulin and fructooleosaccharides. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and let the Auto10 work on the jicama and all the green juice pulp. Alright, while this process is working great, I'm seeing that some of the pulp is literally sticking to the side of the hopper on the Auto10 Plus. So when this happens, that's an indicator that you did not add enough jicama cubes. So because I didn't add enough jicama cubes, I'm just going to go ahead and get it off the side to kind of get it in and then try to mix up the pulp with the jicama cube so it's more readily mixed up. And we're going to go ahead and let the Auto10 continue to rejuice the pulp to get even a better extraction of our leafy greens. Alright, so as you guys can see, the Auto10 Plus has ripped through all the jicama and my green juice pulp. Pretty much the pulp stops flowing out and it's barely dripping. So we're going to go ahead and turn the machine off. One of the things I always like to do is basically pick up the juicing components and then tip it up to see if we got any last bits of drips of juice out. Set it back down. Close the spout cap, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tap down this sieve. This will make a fair bit of pulp in the process. So I'm basically just tapping it down. You could throw this pulp back in to get rejuiced. I'm not really going to bother at this point. I'll just put it in the... Oh, before I put in the pulp catch, though, I want to share with you guys, what the pulp looks like that came out the second time through, right? We're going to grab a big thing of pulp. Now, this pulp is a little bit warm to the touch, nowhere near as 118 degrees. I'm not even going to say the temperature because I don't really know, but we're going to pick this pulp up and squeeze. Look at that, guys. I'm squeezing barely any juice out. The juice I have coming out is basically clear, telling me that's the jicama juice coming out. This pulp is doggone dry. So if you guys really want to get your green juice pulp dry, like I do, to extract every little bit of goodness out of your greens, rejuice it with the jicama like I showed you guys today. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking, John, I can't find jicama near me because I live in Europe and they don't have jicama. So then I would recommend you guys use something like kohlrabi, which is another excellent style stem vegetable, very similar to the jicama in the texture. If you guys can't use like kohlrabi, you could use something like turnips or rutabaga, which would try to make the juice stronger. I like the kohlrabi because it has a neutral flavor. You could also, of course, just use something like carrots. That then, of course, is going to change the taste of the juice a lot. But once again, it's going to be able to allow you to run that pulp through a second time to get more nutrition out of your greens, which in my opinion are the most important foods to juice, the greens. And now look at this, guys. We got another mason jar here. And literally from the jicama and the pulp, we made another over a quart of green juice. Now, granted, this is mostly jicama, but there's still lots of nutrition from the greens because we ground up greens even better the second time through, crushed them up and squeezed out the juice. And of course our juices did settle. Settling in your juice is not bad. In my opinion, it is a good thing because it shows that there are different particle sizes in your juice, and these different particle sizes are actually the nutrients, including the different types of particle sizes of fiber. And once again, we're going to go ahead and suck the extra oxygen out of the Jicama green pulp juice, right? And you guys can see it's not quite as dark as our original green juices are. And the other thing I want to show you guys, if you guys can see that, well, you can see all the bubbles bubbling up. This is very important, guys. Don't skip the step of pulling out the extra oxygen out of the headspace, as well as, more importantly, the dissolved oxygen in the juice if you are juicing in bulk. So there you guys have it. You guys learned how I make my personal favorite green juice recipe in the Kuvings Auto10 Plus. Literally all those greens turned into about 3 quarts of juice, along with an extra quart of the Jicama green juice that we made. I can now store this juice for up to 7 days. And the Kuvings Auto10 Plus with its gigantic 4-liter hopper makes juicing a lot easier because I can just load this all up, walk away, do other things because it is automatic, right? Hands-free. No longer do you have to push the produce in. I'm so over pushing produce in. I would encourage you guys, if you guys don't already have a hopper-style juicer, upgrade to a hopper-style juicer. I believe the Kuvings Auto10 is the best Kuvings hopper juicer out at this time. If you guys want to buy the Kuvings Auto10 Plus juicer, make sure you guys use the coupon code DJ10 at kuvingsusa.com. I'll put links down below in the description, as well as pinned to the first comment. So that not only can you save $73.99, that's almost $74 off the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, but also Kuvings will show me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys. And I'll do more than just juicing, and I'll show you how you guys can get the maximum extraction out of your pulp so you guys can save the most money and, more importantly, get the most nutrients in you the best way possible, especially by vacuum saving your juices to prevent the oxidation and prevent all the oxygen-sensitive nutrients from dissipating out of your juice the longer you store them. So I want to thank you guys who have used my coupon code in the past or will use my coupon code in the future. It truly allows me to buy my produce, pay my power bill, pay my video editor, so I could put up these videos to share with you guys my best tips and tricks that I've learned over the 29 years juicing. And of course, I've been selling the machines online at my discountjuicers.com website for over 25 years. And once again, if you guys want to get the Kuvings Auto10, link down below, kuvingsusa.com. Coupon code DJ10 is going to save you guys $74 off, less a penny. All right, final thing I'm going to do in this episode is we're going to go ahead and let the vacuum back in, let the air back in. And now I'm going to go ahead and taste test my lettuce green lemon juice today. That's definitely nice and mild juice. I love it just like that. I want to encourage you guys to juice more greens. They're low in deuterium that can have beneficial health benefits, aside from the chlorophyll, vitamins and minerals, and all the other phytonutrients and phytochemicals in the greens that contain the most nutrition and the least amount of calories on the planet. And I want you guys to supercharge how many you guys are getting into. My goal every day is to get 2 pounds of greens in me, and easily with one juice, I've accomplished more than that, as you guys just learned. So if you guys enjoyed this episode today, learning how I make my green juice in the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, please be sure to do a big thumbs up. More importantly, please be sure to share this video with other people so that they can learn how to make green juice and extract the most from the pulp using the Auto10 Plus. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes I'll be coming every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up, what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel, what new unboxings I'll be doing, what new comparisons or juicing knowledge bombs I'll be sharing. And I wouldn't want you guys to miss any single episode. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check out past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 800 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the different juicers, vacuum blenders, and other appliances that allow you to process more plant foods at home in the best ways possible. Links down below, once again, in the description to my original Auto10 unboxing video that you don't want to miss. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. So if you guys enjoyed that episode learning how I make my personal green juice in the Auto10 Plus, rejuice my pulp to get even a higher yield. That being said, if you guys are ready to buy the Kuvings Auto10 Plus, the original Auto10, or my favorite, the Kuvings CB1000 Vacuum Blender, make sure you guys use the coupon code DJ30, which is only good for a limited time until November 29th. That may get extended, but I don't want you guys to miss out because this is the largest discount Kuvings is giving you guys all year. $210 savings off the Auto10, $222 savings off the Auto10 Plus, and a whopping, never to be beat, $600 off the Kuvings CB1000. I don't know how Kuvings is making money selling things this low. So once again, links are down below to buy at KuvingsUSA.com, as well as make sure you guys use my coupon code DJ30 to score that 30% off. And also, Kuvings will share me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you. So thank you so much for those of you guys who have used my coupon code in the past or will use this coupon code to save you guys the most money and allow me to continue to make these educational videos for you guys. Thank you.